Okay, finally going to start my armpits video. So I made a thread saying I'll talk about whatever you want, highest rated comment, and by far Control Devil with the armpits got 55 upvotes. Oh, that was almost a month ago. I kind of took a while to make this video, but I have a lot of stuff prepared, so here we are. The best upcoming armpits in fighting games, alright? It's upcoming fighting games only. Because I try to go back and there's way too many characters. Okay, here we go. Oh. That's not my dog, by the way, but I figured the picture, it would fit the armpit bros. Okay, so for the very first person, or I guess first franchise that'll be on this list, it's gonna be a popular one. KOF 15. So they have a few character trailers out, but I checked out all the characters that were showing their armpits, and there's not that many. At least just compared to 14, just because there's less characters coming out. The first one, by very popular demand, is Vanessa. So there's a whole bunch of people that tagged or messaged me saying, hey, you should add her in. And someone actually tagged me on Reddit. It's the first time I've been tagged for armpits. So I figured she deserves to be the first spot on here. So it's, okay, I'm not an armpit guy, but even just looking at this picture, it's pretty obvious that she's just hot in general. Her armpit being there, here, let me zoom it up for the armpit bros. I mean, she's just hot. So I tried looking at this through the lens of an armpit guy. So I tried looking at this through the lens of an armpit guy, and it makes sense, right? This is a nice looking armpit, and her face is so pretty too. I read some lore, apparently she's like a MILF. I actually really like her midriff right here with that lace. I mean, that's what I'm into. But since this is a video for the armpit bros, you know, this is a nice looking armpit, alright? There's no hair. Some guys might like jungles, but actually I don't think there's any girls that I've looked at that has had hair in their armpits, so might be a very, very low minority that likes hairy armpits. But her armpit's nice, it's muscular, right? You can see that muscular structure right here. There's a little, right? That's muscle, which I guess she gets from boxing or something, or just being a human. So Vanessa, first on this list. I have another picture of her as well. In-game screenshot of KOF 14, I believe. And I mean, just look at that. This does not look nearly as good as KOF 15. So, on my upcoming fighting games list, they definitely improved her armpit. I mean, she looks kind of skinny in this one. Right, her arm looks kind of skinny, which in turn makes her armpit look skinny. Yeah, so if I were to put myself in the armpit position, I don't like skinny armpits. I want those thicky pits. Wait, hold on. Where is this picture? Oh, here it is. I want them thicky pits, see? I mean, this just looks a lot more attractive to me. the armpit. Yeah. Okay, next on the list though will be almost a hidden contender. I almost never see people talk about this girl. Just in terms of being, you know, one of their favorite female characters in KOF. But Blue Mary, she's hot. I mean, I'm into short-haired blonde girls. But if I was also into armpits, I mean, look at this. Look how much detail there is. She also has a midriff, but for some reason this midriff doesn't really look that attractive to me, which is weird because I usually like midriffs. Maybe there's just too much muscle on the side. But about the armpit, since it's an armpit video, look how much detail there is on this armpit. In comparison to Vanessa, if I am counting the lines it takes to draw this, there's like 1, 2, 3 very distinct lines. I'm not counting the side boob line. And it's like, they really didn't have to be this detailed on her armpit. Which makes me think that there has been an armpit fetish, I guess, for a while now. I just haven't been aware of it until having to make this video. Because look at this compared to her arm, okay? How much detail is in her arm? There's no detail in her arm at all. You can't even tell that's an arm if I zoom up on it. Because there's just no muscle. Even her left armpit has a little shadowing there, so that you know it's an armpit. So looking at that, it just makes it so obvious that the focus of this is her midriff and armpit. Makes me realize that the armpit meta has definitely been here. I just haven't noticed it. Another picture of Blue Mary I have. This looks like an old school style picture, right? I can tell it's old school because her boobs look kind of what's the word? Rubbery? Not just because of the latex, but it's something about it looks off, right? Like it's not in our universe's laws of physics. But this is about her armpit. But her midriff looks nice here. See, this midriff looks nice. And this armpit doesn't look that interesting to me. Maybe because there's such a dark shadow there. But I put this picture here so that an armpit guy can tell me, hey, is this picture actually attractive for an armpit? Do you like that dark shadowing? Because it might remind me of, in a way, thigh gaps. Some guys in their thigh gaps. And having such a distinct shadow there, separating the shoulder and whatever this is, the knee. It might make the armpit hotter because it's like, wow, there's the armpit. It's right there, exposing itself so distinctly. Yeah. Someone tell me if this is hot, because to me this is like whatever. The third character though that's coming up, I actually don't know if this guy's in KOF 15. I don't think he is, but this is such a good picture. I had to show it. Look at this guy's armpit. So he's clearly a JoJo reference to Ponteglyph. Look at that armpit, dude. That's so much detail. Let me zoom out here. This might be a little too intense for the armpit bros. Alright. Oh, that's still pretty intense. Hold on here. Okay, here we go. Look at all that muscle definition. So clearly, they're showing off his muscles. But there's a lot more shading on his armpit area. You could say on his right bicep and tricep that he has a lot of shadows there too. But I definitely think this pose is showcasing his armpits. So armpit bros, I don't know if armpit guys like looking at other guys' armpits, or if that's kind of gay. Cause I don't like looking at guys' midriffs. Well, maybe if they're really muscular and buff, but that's kind of like looking up to them as a role model, right? So if guys looking at armpits like this, I wonder if they get turned on or if they appreciate it, or if it disgusts them because it's like gay. But I'm sure there's gay dudes watching this, in which case, you know, enjoy this armpit because this is the only guy on my list. So take it in. I'm going on to the next franchise now, which is a game coming out soon. It is called DNF Duel. I'll put this up a little higher and to the right. Alright, DNF Duel. Look at that. If you're into armpits, check this out. This is the Dragon Knight girl. Damn. So this armpit, there's not that much detail on it, but there's enough to see it. And I mean, if I could see this was only on the screen for about like 2 frames, but I was able to capture it or notice it and then screenshot it, because I was like, wow, they're just kind of showing off her armpit here. It could be because I'm biased, since I've been looking for armpit shots, but as soon as I saw this, I was like, man, what a little slut, you know, showing off her armpit. And she's the only character I've seen that really shows it off with this pose. It's just straight in your face. So if you're into at dragons, for DNF Duel, it's like Dragon Nightfall Duel, definitely check out this fighting game. There's another screenshot as well of a potential character, also a Dragon Knight. I think it's a different form, because you can awaken your characters, since DNF Duel came from a gacha game, Chinese gacha game from Korea or something. And so you can see her armpit very clearly, but at the same time they sort of censor it with this black whip looking thing, or belt. But just her showing it off. Oh, she has 2 different colored eyes. I just realized. I've always just looked at her armpit and thighs, but yeah, she has 2 different colored eyes. That's an interesting detail. So yeah, this special mention to DNF Duel, Dragon, N-word Fall. There's only 2 characters here. Let me add the, what's this? The 3rd franchise I'm gonna go after next. I was gonna add Striker, by the way, the Striker character, but I figured, there's not enough like money shots. But next I'm gonna go to, oops, Grand Blue Fantasy Versus. Yeah. Actually, I'll fix it. I was debating fixing it or not. Alright, so everyone knows who's coming up here. The most famous... Oh shit, this picture's huge. I think I took this from a 4K video, that's why. Here you go, everyone's favorite character. Everyone's favorite 13-year-old. So all the pit guys, Know who this is. This is Fairy from Grand Blue Fantasy Versus. Grand Blue Fantasy Versus. Grand Blue Versus. Is it called Grand Blue Fantasy Versus? Hold on, let me look this up. Actually, or is that just a no-log game? Grand Blue. It is called Grand Blue Fantasy Versus. Wow, it sounds so long when I say it out loud. But yeah, Fairy. 13-year-old, commonly referred to as Grand Blue's pit slut. Oops, hold on, I have a slideshow coming up. Hold on. There are so many pictures I took of Fairy that I made a slideshow. Okay, here we go. First picture, right? Obviously, she's showing off the goods, and Arxis, with their anime style and hard line details, it makes it very prominent, her armpit. Oh, here's official artwork. You can see the armpit and side boob being shown off as well. Here's fan art of Fairy, clearly showcasing the armpit, side boob, and even waist. It's very obvious to me when they're showing off the stomach, because no one's clothes hug your belly button that tight. It's kind of funny because the rest of the picture, it actually looks really nice, all the coloring, but the clear highlight is the armpit, boob, and waist. So even the fan artists know what the main appeal is. It actually wasn't until this picture I noticed she even had ears, like the furry ears, but I'm pretty sure she's not considered a furry. She's just your average 13-year-old girl. Here's another picture I got from her intro. Another picture. These are all from the official trailer that Arxis released. So I'm gonna start speedrunning through this because I realized it's almost been 18 minutes of me talking about armpits, and I have like 20 screenshots of her. So here we go. Oh, here we go. Here's this side, almost behind the shot, armpit shot, which I think reminds me of a side boob, except just for armpit guys. So very cool, right? Different style. Here's her doing low attack-ish, showing off the goods. Her in the air doing a Tarzan swing. I actually like this pose because she looks very dynamic. Another armpit. Her doing a drill, landing. Here's her doing an attack on a Peruvian, but her armpit is clearly distinguished. I mean, that's one of the first things you see in this picture. Or maybe it's just so used to seeing. Oh, I love this pose. This is such a cool picture. But now I see just the armpit, and then how cool the picture is. I think it's because there's so much detail in that armpit compared to the rest of the picture. Because if you think about the lighting, detail, and shadows, the armpit is where all three are being showcased. Here's her standing next to him again. Just almost like, you know, hiding her armpit from him, which is interesting. Then she slaps him for looking at her armpit, I guess. But still showing off her armpit. Another cool, I don't know what she's doing here. I think she's doing an attack, EX attack. But I don't know if this is the recovery frame or starting, I think it's starting frame. But it shows her armpit there too. Very cool pose, one of my favorite poses. Very actiony and cool, but still showing off a little bit of the armpit. Another armpit shot, another cool pose, sick in the dog on Gran. And you see her armpit as well. This is a nice picture. This shows off her thighs, which I actually never even realized she has thighs. It also shows off her armpit too, you know, and a little bit of her back. You can see some back muscle there. But it's funny because in these other pictures, I don't really notice her thighs too much, but this one's like, wow. Nice. Here with Charlotta. Oh yeah, here's the money shot that I'm sure a lot of dudes have jerked it to. Hopefully this doesn't give anyone boners, because I mean, I'm still in this video, so try not to get boners watching this video. Here's a nice shot for the armpit guys too, but also for just a cool pose. I love when when the whip is so dynamic, it's like close to the screen. Another angle of this, reversed. This is another very cool pose. It just looks so cool. This one's another armpit shot. Okay, I'm gonna start speedrunning. Oh yeah, I love this shot. She looks so cool here. And of course, there's an armpit. She looks cute here, you know. Don't know what she's doing up there. Ah, here we go. So I thought it was funny that it says zone out your opponent with her ghastly friends. And for some reason, ghastly made me think of armpit. Even though armpits can't really be ghastly. But I don't know, I think the wording is definitely, there's an awareness when choosing that wording. But here's her official Grand Blue Fantasy versus artwork, showing off the pits, the pitties, there's a little side boob, and her thigh. Her hair looks really nice in here too, actually. I never realized how many colors there are in her hair. There's light blue, dark blue, light red. Some of it mixes into purple. Let me just start. Oh, here we go. Matera. Okay, I added her here for a special mention because she made me realize a lot of archers are prime material for the pit bros. Because when you shoot an arrow, right, your armpits shows itself. You almost can't help it. But then it made me realize a lot of archers, you don't see it because they usually aren't sleeveless or showing their armpits. They usually have some sort of like jacket or something, right? Like Legolas or Robin Hood. I can't name a female archer because I don't really. Oh, here we go. I don't really watch things with female leads. So here's another picture of Matera showing off the armpit, even though this is clearly a midriff shot, and I guess some boob shot too, and showing off her smug face. Oh, she has ears. She has the furry ears. I've never noticed she had the furry ears. Is she from the same clan as or species as fairy? Wow. I never realized she had those ears. I've always looked at her other stuff. This is kind of blowing my mind. Were those always there? I feel like I'm going crazy. Alright. Next up, Narmaya. Also a special mention. So Samurai Girl, oh my god, this is getting too long. Samurai Girl was showing her armpits. You know, very cool. Here's another picture of her summer outfit showing off her armpits. So usually with samurai girls, I notice they don't really show their armpits much because they're usually wearing robes. But this girl, at least the costumes here, she's showing them off. And this is definitely a nice armpit shot, I can tell. Even if I'm not an armpit bro. But it's definitely a good midriff shot too. And a thigh shot. Boob shot, I don't know. I'm not a huge boob guy. As long as they're just not too big. Oh, Zoe, that's right. Zoe's the second pit slut. God, there's so many. There were so many screenshots I could have taken, but I took so many with Fairy already that I felt like this video would be literally 40 minutes long if I took an equal amount of screenshots with Zoe. But Zoe's definitely considered one of Grand Blue's pit sluts. So if you're into pits, definitely recommend Grand Blue Fantasy Versus. You got at least 2 girls with a lot of content for pits. Okay, the very last one is Demon. Oh, here we go. The last franchise I will be going through. Guilty Gear Strive. So, oh, that's a little high. Should I fix it? I'll fix it. Oh no. Now the background's messed up. Alright, hold on. Now I gotta fix the background. God damn it. Alright. Now I gotta refix this because it's not aligned. Okay. Pretty sure I broke like... No, that's still not right. I'm pretty sure I broke like 20 YouTube video rules you're not supposed to ever do. But I don't care. Alright. What was I doing? Oh yeah, Guilty Gear Strive, okay. Here we go. I have a slideshow for Guilty Gear as well. Let me open up this folder here. Okay, that took a while. Alright, first up we have Ram Lethal, or Ramlethal, as some people might say. She's definitely a pit shower. So in this game, there's not that many girls that show off their pits actually. You know, there's Eno, Milia, whatever, but they're covered most of the time. But Ramlethal, a lot of her moves show her armpit. And here, let me move myself. Actually, I'll move her closer here. This is during her super. I noticed her armpits on there for like 2 frames. But again, you know, I caught it in time because, well, I'm just insanely fast. Here's another one that was on the screen for like 1 frame. It's deformed, but that's because during her super, you're not supposed to really play it frame by frame and screenshot it. It's supposed to be moving in motion. So that's why it's deformed there, because it's not really worth the effort to fix her 3D model. But I left this picture here because some of the pit guys, you know, aren't too picky, right? I think pit guys in general aren't picky as people. They try to get what they can get. So this picture of her armpit will definitely satisfy a lot of the pit dudes. Another cool shot of her. Oh, I like her pose in this just because like her waist and thighs are just... But you also see her armpit. And yeah, it's just a nice, cool picture showing off everything. Did we loop already? Oh yeah, we did loop. Oh yeah, so there you go. Guilty Gear Strive. Just Ramlethal. There's no one else really. Everyone else has their armpits covered. That's female, at least. So I'm looking at the time now. 29 minutes, almost 30 minutes. Thank you for watching. I'm going to stop us at exactly 30 minutes. 3, 2, 1. Thank you.